Most business owners do not wake up one day and decide to become the single point of failure in their business. It happens gradually. In the beginning, it makes sense, right? You're the sales team, you're the decision maker, you are the one stabilizing everything, and that is normal in the early years. What is harder to see is when that early stage quietly becomes permanent. What worked in year one becomes the structure in year 21. I want to talk about three patterns I am seeing right now across experienced business owners. These are not trends, these are not tactics, these are patterns. And if you hear yourself in any of this, that is not accidental. The first pattern is this: the business looks stable, but it is attached to the owner more than anyone wants to admit. Revenue is solid, the team is good, customers are loyal, nothing really feels broken. But when you ask one simple question, everything starts to get clearer. If you stepped away or if you disappeared for 90 days, what happens? Would revenue continue? Would payroll clear without disruption? Would clients stay confident? Would decisions move forward? Or would everything slowly start to stall until you came back? Most owners do not run that test because things feel fine. But working and transferable are not the same thing. If revenue follows your calendar, that is not durability. If clients ultimately need your reassurance, that is not independence. If your team waits for your final word, that is concentration, right? The strongest owners I know built companies that absorbed them over time. They did not mean to. They stepped in because it was faster. They stepped in because they cared. They stepped in because they were capable. And eventually the business did not replace them. It revolved around them. That is the first pattern. Now, the second pattern is more subtle. Owners are confusing profitability with protection. The numbers look good. The business is producing income. You've weathered inflation, higher cost, tighter margins. You made it through uncertainty. And on paper, it looks strong. But profitability is not the same as long-term security. If your income depends on you staying in the chair, that is not protection. That is performance. And performance requires presence. A lot of experienced owners right now are feeling financial pressure in the background. Costs are up. Interest rates are higher. Revenue feels less predictable in certain sectors. That environment creates a natural instinct to just keep things steady, right? Circle the wagons. Do not disrupt anything, right? Keep producing, keep carrying, keep going on, soldiering on. But underneath that stability is a harder question. If you step back, does the income continue? Not for a week, structurally. If the answer is unclear, that matters. Security that depends on your stamina is fragile. You built this business to create leverage. If it still requires your constant presence to function at its current level, that is concentration risk. It's not failure, it's risk. That is the second pattern. The third pattern is about time. Most owners believe they still have time, and they probably do. This is not about urgency, it's about leverage. Every year, the business embeds more around you. Processes normalize around your judgment. Clients get more used to your involvement. The team relies on your stability, and none of that feels dangerous. Feels responsible. But time narrows options quietly, not dramatically, quietly. The longer a business is structurally dependent on one person, the harder it becomes to separate that person from the system. That does not mean you can't, right? It doesn't mean you can't. It means it takes more intentionality later than it would now. And I'm not talking about burnout. I'm not talking about emotion. I'm not talking about structural concentration. If stepping away tomorrow would create instability, that is information. And strong leaders look at information early. Now, across all three patterns, the thread is the same. Owner dependency that once made sense has become embedded risk. The business still works because you still work. If you stepped back, does the money stop? That is not a dramatic question. It is a practical one. If you are listening to this and something in you feels seen, that is intentional. A lot of capable owners are carrying more than they realize. They are respected. They are successful. They are steady. They are more central to the system than they want to be long term. On March 4th, we're hosting a private session for owners who want to look at this clearly. It is a structured conversation around dependency and where it actually lives in your business, not theoretically, practically. You will leave knowing whether your income depends on your presence. You will see whether you've built a company that can function without you for a meaningful period of time. You will understand where concentration risk exists, if exists at all. And there's no expectation attached to that clarity. You do not have to change anything if you don't want to. You don't have to make a decision. You don't have to declare an exit timeline. This is simply a room for owners who want to see clearly. The strongest leaders I work with are not reckless. They are not reactive. They do not wait for a forced moment. They look early while they still have leverage. You have invested decades building something valuable. Taking a short amount of time to understand whether it protects your future is not overthinking, it's leadership. Every owner exits at some point. The only variable is whether that transition is designed intentionally or shaped by circumstance. If any part of this conversation has been sitting with you, March 4th is a place to think it through with other experienced owners just like you who understand the weight of what you carry, nothing more.